and welcome to MXTV. I'm Lee Hogan, joined by Brendan Bell. Welcome, Belly.
Lee, you know it, mate. It's great to be back, and I'm super pumped for this episode.
Super pumped. I haven't heard that since the days of Ryan Dungey on the podium, Belly.
Mate, just giving you a hand there for a segue into our next segment.
All right, well, there you go. In our first segment for this show, we are going to have an exclusive interview with the man himself, Aldon Baker, former trainer of Ryan Dungey. Let's hear what he has to say.
Aldon, thanks very much for joining us, mate. 14 championships out of 18 years in the business. Unbelievable record, but where did it all start?
Well, firstly, good to have you guys here, Brendan. Always a pleasure, and I know you did the big distance trip, so welcome back. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been, gosh, an incredible 18 years, you know, and obviously still motivated and pushing to keep that going and evolve and develop. And obviously here at the Baker's factory, you know, this is now 4 years old, which time flies, was I can remember, gosh, starting in a little container on the side here. It's been good and it's developing. You know, from my standpoint, you always want it to develop quicker, but it is, and it's coming along, and yeah, very happy and proud of, you know, where we're going and kind of what we're doing at the moment. So we'll keep pushing.
I would regard you as a leader in the industry with nutrition and training, but how do you keep up to date with nutrition? Like, is it something that you study, or how do you know?
Things evolve, and even when I look at now, the accessibility of good organic food is a lot more available.
Yep.
But you have to be more knowledgeable on where you can get that and what the scenarios, and then all these different type of, I wouldn't say fads or diets that come rolling through, you know, from, man, I remember back in the day, you know, the Atkins diet, and now it's keto. Bottom line, I try and do as much due diligence as possible to analyze and use my experience also to look at everything that keeps evolving and coming out, if it's something that can correlate to this sport and make the riders better.
Where do you think the sport's heading in the next level? I think it's got to a bit of a plateau and you know, maybe stopped a little bit, but where do you see the next level of motocross and supercross?
Well, and there again, it always depends on the riders. I feel like that's the riders and the persona of what they are and what they've done and that whole build-up. And we went through a good amount of years with, you know, the Carmichaels, the Billows, the Dunge, you know, I mean, even, you know, Chad Reed. All that era was a pretty cool era of those guys fighting it out for championships. I mean, James Stewart. Yeah. I mean, an unbelievable talent that everyone was watching and as he developed and I think at this point we're kind of in that reshuffle mode.
He's almost got an opportunity to win now.
Yes.
It's good for spectators.
Exactly, but I think that's what's really now sort of calmed the sport down a bit, because we don't have any of those the bigger names that have been multiple champions or very close to that multiple deal. I mean, I think Chad Reed is the only one still out there, and he won, what, 2 Supercross?
2 Supercross, 1 motocross.
1 motocross.
And multiple wins.
Yes. I do feel that they maybe need to start changing the structure of the races, with this whole thing with, you know, Supercross, bam, straight into outdoors. And not much of a break, because the problem too is there's not even enough time to create a hype. So I feel that there kind of needs to get to a point where, I don't know if it's just separate series, guys that specifically focus on motocross. And that's built up to its mega land. Yep. And then there's just the Supercross, where maybe if it even started a little later in the year, I think the Supercross too, it needs to be, even with the 250 guys, no longer an East Coast, West Coast. It should be the same as the 450. Because I know in the beginning some teams could only afford to do like a West Coast. Yeah. But now you look at the teams have a West Coast team and the East Coast. Why not let's just run them and then help them get used to how it is to
run a full season.
Because I still find then when the 250 guys move up, it's still such a big jump.
Thank you, Ruddy.
Brendan, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for the time. I know it's been a long interview, but we'll cut this down. But it's
no problem.
Been fantastic, mate. Thanks for your time.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thanks, buddy. Now let's take a closer look at Kawasaki's all-new KX 450 with Jeremy McGrath.
Half the race is won at the start.
The all-new 2019 Kawasaki Kx 450 motorcycle is built to win right out of the gate. The new 449cc engine on the Kx 450 delivers quicker acceleration with increased power across the entire RPM range, giving you the extra drive needed to pull the whole shot. Weight reductions to the engine, the chassis, exhaust, airbox, and swing arm all result in a lightweight bike that delivers increased acceleration and more responsive handling, allowing the riders to drop their lap times. And with the new bodywork, you'll look the part as you lead the way.
All right, let's have a closer look at Modal's perfect seat. Now this is for the fussy riders out there, just like me, that like to keep their bike looking like new and looking factory. Modal's perfect seat dries evenly and leaves a protective, dry, non-greasy sheen, not like other products. The last thing you want on your bike is a slippery seat. Perfect seat cleans your seat and brings it back to looking like new. Now all the manufacturers tell you don't wash your seat when you're washing your bike because it can ruin the foam in your seat over time. So this is a perfect way to clean your seat. Go and get yourself a bottle at your local dealers.
Hey guys, today's technical tip brought to you by Suzuki is chain maintenance. Chain maintenance is important for a number of reasons. One is the performance of the bike, but also your safety. If a chain breaks or for whatever reason derails, you're in a lot of trouble. So the best thing to do is follow the basic guidelines that are set down in your owner's manual, and keeping everything within spec is going to keep the chain lasting a lot longer, and as well as you won't be wearing through sprockets anywhere near as quickly either. One of the most important things I believe is keeping the chain clean. The more dirt and mud that you can keep off your chain, the longer it's going to last. With a bit of soapy water, and there are some really good chain cleaners on the market with a good stiff bristled brush. After we give the chain a good clean, then let the bike dry for a while, and then if you've got like compressed air, you can give it a light blow off, and then what you need to do is apply not too much but a good coat of chain lube. A lot of people do tend to over oil their chains, which doesn't really benefit of anything. It's more where you're actually getting the lubricant onto, and the most important part, like obviously on an O-ring chain, is greasing the actual O-rings themselves, because ultimately that's going to be one of the things that's going to reduce mechanical drag of the chain, is keeping those O-rings nice and lubed. The best indicator of how your chain and sprockets are wearing is to grab the chain at the rearmost point of the rear sprocket and pull it back. If you can see more than half the teeth on the actual sprocket, that means your chain and sprockets are dearly in need of replacement. The other important thing to be looking at while you're checking your chain tension and the actual wear of the chain and sprockets is to check your chain sliders. Once your chain sliders start getting worn, you'll wear into the swing arm, or you've risked the possibility of the chain derailing if the lower chain guide is starting to wear too much. So chain maintenance is a very important thing. Read the section in your owner's manual about chain tension and chain maintenance. It's very worthwhile keeping an eye on the manuals because they do have some really good information. There you go guys, there's a rundown of your chain maintenance. We'll see you next time.
Is your family like my family? Upset, sad, disappointed? We can fix that, and just in time for Christmas too. Turn that frown upside down with some MXTV merchandise. Get Dad a stubby holder, and there's an MXTV shirt for all the family. And hold it on.
Welcome back to MXTV. Well, next we get to catch up with the current AMA 250cc Supercross East Coast champion. It's a good friend of mine, Zach Osborne. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Well, sitting next to me is three-time 250 champion, of course, Zach Osborne. Zach, welcome to MXTV.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Zach, first up, the shoulder. What did you actually do to it?
I tore my labrum and my subscapularis tendon in my shoulder at the Lakewood round of the AMA Nationals. So I'm looking at about a 3-month recovery to get everything back to where it should be. I had surgery 2 weeks ago, and hopefully start riding in the middle or end of September and start with the 450 and new adventure.
Now, what went through your mind when you had the accident? Because obviously Joey just come barreling through.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of mixed emotions. I mean, my shoulder came out of socket, so it was one of those deals I knew I needed to get up and do what I could to soldier through it and try to get some points. But at the same time, I was a little bit bummed, you know, to be starting so far back and everything. And obviously at that very moment, I didn't really know the severity of the injury, so I was just trying to claw back what I could.
Now, how hard is it to win a second Supercross championship? I know a first one would be hard, but they tell me the second's harder. What's in your thoughts?
Yeah, the second one for me was a little easier. I don't think it gets much more harder, intense than the first one. So the second one was definitely easier and made even easier by winning the outdoor title. You know, it just kind of gave me some accomplishments to build some confidence from and so on and so forth. So I enjoyed the second one, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all super special, but if I had to kind of rate one, the first one was just unbelievable in terms of drama and you know, just the way it happened.
You've got to this age now. Do you still think that, you know, some people get to 30 and they're burnt out? What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm definitely not burnt out. I enjoy what I do. I love to ride. I love the work side of it. And I mean, as long as I have, you know, health, I feel like I can race for a long time, not just in motocross and supercross, but hopefully, you know, I enjoy enduro and that sort of thing as well. So yeah, I don't want to stop anytime soon. I like what I do, and I mean, I can totally understand how you can get burnt out. The travel is tough, you know, just the obligations, and everybody wants a little piece of your time, and that's tough. But at the same sense, I enjoy it, and I know kind of the honor it is to be in this position, and I try to embrace it, you know, every day.
If you had one part, you get works bikes, there's one part that you could keep on your bike, only one, what would you take with you to the next bike?
So I run this handlebar setup that's actually smaller diameter on the ends. It's almost like a kid's bar because I have super small hands, and that's like essential to my riding. I switched to that about 3 years ago. Pro Taper made a special bar that like steps down at the grips, and it's a huge thing for me. So that's probably my biggest thing is my bars, but you know, it's not just a set of bars, they're pretty custom to me.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know anything about that.
Not many people know about it because, like I said, it steps down at the grip, so the grip slides all the way up to the step, so you can't really tell unless you know what you're looking for, but if you put your hand around it, it's a huge difference.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much, Zach, for your time, mate. Unbelievable. Now let's take a look at the brand new goggle out on the market by Spy. It's the Foundation goggle. Now this is the Foundation Plus. It comes with a spectral lens here, and it also comes with a bonus clear lens. Now every Foundation goggle comes with a bonus tear-off pack as well, and Spy say the Foundation goggle has the widest peripheral view on the market. Now the high definition Lexus lens provides sharper and more accurate vision in all lighting conditions. The ventilation system draws air through, creating a vacuum that pulls hot air from behind the lens, keeping you dry. They come with a 45mm roll-off system. The triple layer face foam has a moisture wicking fleece that provides a lot of comfort and keeps you dry long into the moto. And last of all, the Foundation goggle comes with a 45mm strap with a silicone rib on the inside to stop it from falling down. So there you go, a closer look at the Foundation goggle from Spy. Now let's take a closer look at Suzuki's RMZ 450. In today's quick tip, we're going to look at washing your bike. Now, everyone knows what you do is get a bike wash, mix it with some water and put it in a sprayer like this to wash your bike. Now, a 2-litre one like this is fine if you're maybe going out racing and down at the track because it's easy to pack into your car. But what I've found is it doesn't last very long when you're washing your bike. You might only get 1-2 washes out of it, 3 if you're really pushing it, and I wouldn't do that anyway. So the best thing to do is go out and get yourself a monster one like this. 8 litres. That's the one that you want. You get a lot more washes out of course, what you do is spray your bike down and then pressure wash it. For those really finicky people like myself out there, then you get a bucket, wash your bike, and of course pressure wash it down afterwards. But with 8 litres, you get to mix a lot more up. You're not mixing all the time like you do with the 2 litre ones. You're not running out halfway through spraying your bike through a wash. All you got to do is get one of these. They last you probably 5 or 6 times. Get down to your local hardware store and buy the biggest one you can get. I've found this 8 litre one to be perfect. I'm getting 4 or 5 washes out of it before I have to refill it again. And of course, when I'm coming home and the daylight's running out, I don't have to worry about going mixing up a 2 litre one to spray your bike down and get your bike washed. If you're in a hurry, this is the best thing to do when you're at home. So there's my quick tip. It's all about saving time when you're washing your bike. Get down to your local hardware store and pick yourself up and get washing.
Welcome back to MXTV. Well, it's time now to take a look at the 2019 model Gas launch held here in Melbourne. Let's check it out.
Today we're at the 2019 Gas EC 250 and 300 launch. Now in 2018, Gas brought out a brand new model and it just absolutely smashed it out of the park. It was a great model bike. For 2019, they've just done a few refinements to it. So let's find out exactly what they've done to that bike with the brand manager of Gas, Lee.
The changes to the EC range for 2019 include the neck and bars and a small solid bar clamp for more rigidity, a little bit more direct steering and a solid mount. Also, we've changed the cylinder head for a more broadened power delivery. Also, then we've upgraded the electric system for starting, larger battery. The map switch is a really exciting part of the updates for 2019. It means that you can have a conventional, fast revving, exciting 2-stroke, but then you can also click it back in those conditions where it gets slippery and tough for riding, and you can drop it back and it just cuts the over rev and just makes it a little bit broader, excellent for a novice rider or someone getting tired in the day. But they've updated the radiators, the different way they mount to the shrouds. The airbox cover is actually reconfigured with clip-in a little bit better. It's a nice little improvement. A cool feature on the Speedo is they have a battery meter. We're all guilty of leaving our bikes for a month or 2 in the shed, then we take it out and find it's flat. You then can push the button and see if it's flat. Make sure you charge it before you go for a ride. For 2019, we have imprinted graphics on the shroud, same as 18, with a little more graphic in there. And the red frame guards, that's probably the easiest way to tell the difference between 18 and 19.
Well, the time has come to gear up, get ready, go out and have a bit of a blast on these bikes, see how they're different from last year, and there's some exciting news at the end of the segment, so keep watching. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I spent all my time on the EC300. This bike is so much fun to ride, but that gives me an excuse to come back and ride the EC250, doesn't it? These brakes are amazing. They're very powerful. The front's great and the back's fantastic as well. Both brakes are very even. Now the engine on the 300, amazing. It's got a lot of great bottom end and it's also got a lot of over rev as well. It's a fantastic 2-stroke engine. It's just exactly that. It's certainly not like a 4-stroke at all. You don't have any engine braking, which I had to get used to, but I really liked it. It brought me back to old school days. Well, I actually found it easier to ride up a hill on this bike than I do on the 4-strokes. It just corners like a mountain bike. You feel like you're just grabbing onto a bike that's free rolling and easy to get down hills. Now the mapping switch that they have on this bike is fantastic. It really does work. You do notice a difference when you put it onto the sunny switch, which leans the bike up. Now the suspension, unbelievable. KYB, works all the time. It's old school, but it's fantastic. It's nice and slim. You can move around on it. It's got a great flat seat. The actual seat cover is nice and grippy. Now the things that I think that this bike comes with that is just A1, and that's the XL rims. These are the quality XL rims, so they're not going to bend or break anytime soon. Another really cool thing is this comes with a standard FMF muffler. Now that's amazing. You know, to have an aftermarket muffler on a stock bike is something you don't find too often. I love these handguards. I love a motocross handguard. I don't like the wraparound handguards, and these incorporate into the levers as well, so they look like they're going to be very sturdy and strong. So value for money, this bike comes with some absolute goodies. It's jam-packed full of them, and it's a great bike to ride. Get out there and have a ride on one of these. The big news is we've got this for a year. Of course, we're going to make it a project bike. Not sure what I'm going to do to it because it's so good out of the crate. We'll probably do a little few things to bling it up, but after that, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we've got it for a year, so follow us on YouTube and we'll tell you what goes wrong with it or what goes right with it and what we think of it after a year.
Well, that's about all we've got time for in this one, Belly.
Hogs, these shows go way too quickly for me, and if you're like me and you want to watch it again, check us out on the 7+ app. While you're on your phone, why not give us a like at the Instagram MXTV show?
Sounds like a plan. Well, Belly, it's been a cracker of an episode. Just having so much fun with this series. Can't wait to keep the ball rolling for the next one. But before then, if you get out on the motorbike, right hand,
South.
hold it on and clutch it at the same time.
The 450.